And greetings and welcome everyone to an all-you-can-geek bonus round for Marvel's Thunderbolts asterisk.
New Avengers.
Oh no, he's
You
done it.
can't do it yet. It's spoil. We're doing a spoiler cast. Anyways, welcome to the bonus round for that movie. Once again, this is a spoiler cast, and I do not think that is a spoiler for anybody. I was going to say it on the movie cast part, but I was respectful. But yeah, this will be a spoiler cast where we will talk about story elements that could, if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this until afterwards. So yeah, guys, Thunderbolts, Marvel. We
I'm
talked about it.
Corey.
This is
I have a
Corey. Oh, sorry.
shield.
I'm your host, Jim Gast. This is Corey, and we're joined by also Tony. What's up, guys?
Yo,
I'm
Yo,
going to
yo.
just resize my window a little bit. We don't have Mike on the podcast, so I'm going to actually resize it. We are live right now on Twitch. So if you don't join these live broadcasts, everything's over on YouTube. If you've watched this on YouTube, subscribe. Be sure to subscribe. We're going to talk stuff, and you can check out all of our other episodes. We actually have a spoiler-free on the movie cast this week, so check that out. All right, guys, that's the last warning. Spoilers. Obviously, we already mentioned something. Thunderbolts, asterisk, the new Avengers, which has now
It was
been...
good. It was a good film. It was definitely,
Oh,
it brought Marvel back to being like, oh, these are good movies again. Because Captain America, I didn't even really have any desire to see at all, and it's unfortunate
same.
because
Yeah.
that movie should have been much bigger, and I feel bad for Anthony Mackie a little bit because they really didn't give him any opportunity to shine at all, and his show is kind of bad. He's just not been we've talked about it. He's just not been that leading.
he's not him, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's not
As the
him.
kid said, he's not him.
Yeah.
I think he does well in the a buddy cop movies. I think he could be very well with
Right. He
bouncing off of
plays
people.
well off of other
Awesome.
people.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And with Bucky too.
And Bucky, yeah. Did we freeze?
Through and the roller coaster of emotions that happen in this is great. And but Jim, you mentioned on the movie cast, you said this was like a fun film, but there are some heavy material here
Yeah.
that needs to be discussed, and they don't shy away from it. They kind of go right head on and tackle it in, I think, a very meaningful and respectful way, and it could help people too, just to
I think so.
know you're not alone, right?
look,
And people need other people. And
yeah,
so
absolutely. And
that's what's great.
on the movie cast, I mentioned this is a fun movie to watch, and that's not to take away from the heavy elements that they have in this thing. That's to commend the fact that they sprinkled in so many different humorous jokes with it, and also made the action sequences great, that they can get their point across to this and make it a fun movie for people to enjoy and still get this message across to people. Like for me, obviously with Sentry and the issues that he has, I know nothing about that character. I learned everything I learned about that character right now. In my mind, he's still not as powerful as Captain Marvel, but I don't know this.
On a full power level, if they were at their best,
At their
Sentry is,
best.
I think, the most
And
powerful character in the Marvel universe.
really, with all the Omega mutants too? No.
Yeah.
Really?
It really depends. It's unfortunate because, I feel like Sentry. Again, I don't know too much, but what I have seen and gleaned and absorbed through osmosis of the internet, Sentry is used as kind of like the Vegeta, where he's the measuring stick. Because
Yeah.
Vegeta's here now, and he's gonna fuck up the androids, and all of a sudden it's the androids fuck him up. It's oh no! It's Cell's
Right.
around. Vegeta's gonna kick around Cell. Oh no! Cell just became perfect and curb stomped Vegeta. It's oh no! Where it's Sentry's supposed to be very, very, very powerful, but then it's whenever the Marvel editorial needs to be actually we need to show how powerful Doom is or how powerful Thanos is right now. It's we'll just have Sentry show up and get his ass stomped. It's
he's the Vegeta. I got it. Okay. So yeah, I mean,
during Planet World War Hulk, they had to call in Sentry because nobody could stop.
Oh, Hulk! Yeah.
For those listening, we don't really always cover all the story elements of this thing. We do talk a lot about the characters, and that's really what this was about. As we mentioned, Sentry. I think the biggest gripe that I think all of us can agree upon is that it wasn't Stephen Yeun, but
Yeah.
Lewis Pullman did a fantastic job. Nothing to take away from him. It's a shame that we knew who was cast prior to him. But I think even if we didn't know, I feel like we would have been like, man, you know what would be really good in this role? Steven, wouldn't you have said that? Seriously? Like,
I would have, just because like
yeah,
Invincible and Sentry, like,
yeah,
Right.
like that kind of
And
goes hand
even
in hand.
it's like, oh, yellow suit. That's
Yeah,
yeah. Like, I
but
just feel like that. But,
yeah,
and
scheduling conflicts is the reason he was not
yeah. But
able to
Lewis
do the
Pullman
film.
did a fantastic job as Bob. And I thought his intro was awesome. And yeah, so that Sentry's the villain and the hero, I guess, of this movie. And
It seems, yeah, it's like the villain was almost like Val was definitely the antagonist,
Val was
but the
definitely
villain of
antagonist.
the film was kind of like your inner demons in a way. Like
Yeah.
that was what it felt like.
see, it gave me very Persona vibes. Like,
Yeah, I get that.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys thought, where it's like,
Hmm.
you're having to face your darker thoughts, your darker
Right.
feelings, your thoughts about yourself too, right? Where, especially Bob, holding back a lot of his emotions, right? So, in a way, I really appreciate that the movie didn't go down like a stereotypical superhero movie where it's like, oh, Act Three, we got to save the world, blah blah blah. We got to have explosions and this that and the other thing.
Yep.
It was the opposite, and I really commended them for that. But that's jumping ahead.
Hmm.
But yeah, I thought the character did well. The one thing I do have a criticism of is like I
I think
want
I know where this is going, but yeah, go
I,
ahead.
I wanted a bit more of an explanation of Sentry's background, because like we get that brief mention in the very first scene with Yelena where she's
Hmm.
infiltrating the lab, and then we get to Bob, and there's obviously a mystery with Bob. And then we get to him unveiling his powers and stuff like that. But like, at least maybe I'm not remembered, but like, they just gave a kind of a general conversation between what's her name, Valentina, and her assistant or whatever,
Mel.
Mel.
They did
It's like,
confirm Mel is going to be a character, Songbird.
yes. So that is really interesting too. But like the thing is, like they kind of just like glossed over, like, oh yeah, super secret experiment,
Hmm.
drugs, whatever, blah blah blah.
And in the
I'm just like,
beginning, they also be like, "Oh, Sentry's not what they think it is."
yeah. It just like it felt like what did we think it was? Sounds like nobody
Yeah.
knows what it's
Well,
supposed
I
to be.
some of my gripes is kind of on the same line, Tony, is that there's a lot of just like glossing over things in general,
Yeah,
like Taskmaster. We'll talk about, I'm sure. Just like, oh, we'll just gloss over that real quick. Uh,
Yeah.
where's um, Rachel Weisz? Like, I forget her character's name. The mom, like the mom character. Like,
oh
nope,
yeah,
just gonna gloss over that. Not even mention her. It's like,
yep.
uh, it's gonna just like there's no mention of why these two characters estranged from each other for a year. Like, you know, like this is a lot of that. It's like, oh, we'll just that's not necessarily important. So what's important is we have these other things going on, and let's deal with those, and that's fine. But I did feel like we're just going to zip past a lot of these things. Like I have questions. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like like for me, right? Going along with the thing, like Ghost. I love Ghost in that Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, and I thought it was cool
Yeah.
that Marvel actually didn't kill off one of their villains, right? Because they have a thing. It's like, kill them off, whatever. We'll never
I'll
fucking
never
need
use
these
them
villains
again.
again. Yeah, we'll never use them again. Because I liked her powers, I liked her actress. I think she did a good job. And then at the end of that movie, because like she was a victim in her own right, right?
Right.
She wasn't necessarily a villain just to be bad. She was just trying to get the help that she needed just through nefarious,
Right.
unsavory means, right? But at the end, we had Lawrence Fishburne's character, Giant Man, I think,
Hmm.
even say like, "Oh, I'm going to take care of her, blah blah blah, look after her," and like all of a sudden, fast forward, 8 years later now, or however long it's been, it's like, oh, she's been a mercenary for, you know, what's her name all along? Like
Val.
really, like,
Yeah.
Val? Yeah, sorry, yeah,
Val.
she's been a mercenary for Val for a long time, apparently. I guess like sure, like I'll catch up with that, but like it just felt like there's a lot that you could have explored there. But
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah. So, all right. We got the kickoff of this movie with Val pretty much fighting to keep her from being impeached. Yelena and such has her own demons that she's fighting, but the real movie starts essentially when she gets sent out to Yelena gets sent out to clean up Val's mess, right? And that's where we get the kickoff of the movie. and we get to meet all of the cast that will be in this
Right.
movie, including, I mean, it's got to be, I mean, one of the best characters of all time, Taskmaster, right?
I mean, we didn't get enough. But
Yeah.
the thing I liked about this was like they all were sent to kill each other, but not
Yeah.
necessarily know that. I thought
Yeah.
that was a cool thing. It's like, oh
I
yeah,
thought it
we
was really cool too. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
I
it's
thought it
like,
was cool.
all right, this person's here to do this, take him out, and so and then Ghost was like there to kill Taskmaster, and Taskmaster was there to kill Walker, and it's like, oh, this is I kind of like this. This is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Like that
Um,
was a cool twist. Whereas like, how does this scene happen? Because like they used it obviously in the trailers. But
right.
it's like, well, what's the reasoning here?
What is
What's
it?
the
Yeah, why are they
spark?
getting all there? And
Like,
why are they
how did they even
fighting?
get there together,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And I loved
Yeah.
how like they like Mel used like Elena's POV, right? Because that's what we get, where she's like rethinking the whole like, oh, what am I doing, right? Well, like, what am I doing with my life? I'm really helping people, like blah blah blah. Talks to her dad, who's obviously in a rut of his own. And she's like, yeah, okay, I want something more public facing. I want to be, a good person.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, all
No,
right, all
it's, yeah.
right, just do this one last job for me, right? Do this
Right.
one last job
It's
for me.
Valentina Allegra Day something, but like
Yeah.
for whatever. Like the thing is, there's Val and there's Mel. Mel is the assistant.
Mel's the
Oh, I'm
assistant.
sorry.
Val's
Val's the,
Val.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
Val. Yeah.
Julie
yeah.
Louis Dreyfus. Yeah.
Val. Yeah. Val's
Who did a
like,
great
yeah,
job.
just do this one last job for me.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. That's how the last jobs always go, right?
Yeah.
But I thought that fight sequence was so cool because like all these
Yes.
characters are powerful in their own way, even if it's not just straight up brute strength, but like just their skill set and lethality, right? Because
Yeah.
all of
No,
them.
it's very well choreographed sequence, and that's why the ending for Taskmaster I felt was like a little abrupt,
Too
and
abrupt.
it's
Yeah.
like, and then we're just gonna gloss over it because we get to see her like just say, "I'm not here for you," and that's it. That's all you
That's
got
it. The
from
one line you got from
interaction between
like
Elena
to,
and Taskmaster.
that's my biggest gripe with this movie, just because I didn't feel like it added anything.
Yeah.
Because like what you just reintroduced the character that already got done dirty, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
I think
little bit,
so.
and again, not to. I don't want to sound like I'm coming in from the chuds online who are like, "Oh, Taskmaster's a woman now." Like, I don't care about that at all. But
No.
I do feel like in Black Widow, the Taskmaster character didn't get as much justice done as you would expect from that character, who has a very unique ability in copying whatever they see. Right? I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, that's a pretty cool ability," right? And you could see that with the Hawkeye moveset, the Captain America moveset, this and the Black Widows and stuff like that. So here was an opportunity for them to take that character, give the individual, like the woman, I forget her character's name in
I forget it
universe,
too. Yeah. But I
but
know you're talking about. Yeah.
she was a traumatic character.
Yeah.
That went through the Red Room shit, and she just like gets unceremoniously killed. Like it's like, oh,
Well,
cool.
no,
It seemed.
she didn't go through Red Room. She was
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
daughter.
Yeah,
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 Seemed
she was
very
the
abrupt.
daughter that got blown up
right. Yeah, sorry.
It just
and
seems so
rebuilt, I
abrupt.
guess.
It just seems so. It did seem very
Yeah.
abrupt. Like it just didn't want her part of the story, and I'm like, I don't
Hmm.
understand why.
And
But
the fact that they spoil it with the chairs sequence for Doomsday
yeah.
was just like that kind of ruined it a little bit. It's like, well, and then like they kind of had her in different sequences on the trailers, and then they're like, oh, never mind, the trailers are not going to show her anymore anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, you're going to do this dirty because the fact that the ending of Black Widow, if people have seen that movie, like the ending's like you kind of have hope for her. Like you like,
Yeah,
oh, she's going to re be rehabilitated, kind of have a normal life, maybe, like not just be this like robotic soldier sent out to kill people, and like you actually maybe become an actual person again. And then no, they're just gonna do it like
Yeah.
that.
I
So
mean, yeah. So let's talk about.
hold
I
on.
think.
So the other thing that we talked about in the spoiler thread, real quick, was that I would have felt differently if it was Sentry that had killed her accidentally,
Yeah.
or
mhm.
even like some of the people that got sent in, like Val sent in to get rid of them. That would have one thing. But the fact that it was Ghost, like, just it makes it feel even worse for me because it's like, oh, like the whole movie was about them becoming a team, and it's like,
And you
oh,
killed
like
one of the team.
you killed one of the potential people that could have been in this team. It's
Yeah.
like that just feels like extra bitter to me. Where it's just like, that it just really
Yeah.
sucks, and it's I felt too like them looting her right afterwards, like
But they made a joke
U.S.
on that
agent,
too,
and
which I think was hilarious. But
she wanted me to have. I'm like, really? Like, come on, man. And it sucks. And I don't know if you guys have seen interviews. They even said like she was supposed to be in most of the movie, her
The
whole
original script. Yeah.
one of the bits was supposed to be her having her amnesiac episodes where she forgets that
They're
her and
friends.
Walker are cool now. So like she would inadvertently just
Program
go
to
back
kill
to
him. Yeah.
program to kill him, where like she would keep trying to kill him throughout the movie, like every 15, 20 minutes, and he'd be like having to like stop her and be like, "No, we're cool, we're cool." Like the other characters have to agree and
I
stuff
thought
like
that
that.
would have been so
That would have
fun.
been
Like,
cool, right? Yeah,
yeah, that would have been so funny because it's like a 51st dates kind of thing. It's like we got to
yeah.
Yeah, it was a
relearn
weird.
this all over again.
It definitely was a weird cut.
Hmm.
But all right, so we get to meet the characters, the team here. Ghost. Let's talk about Ghost as the character of this movie. What do we think of her? So
I mean, the power set's cool. Tony mentions, like she accomplished her mission and just like, oh, I'm peacing out. So like, and then the explanation of her coming back was kind of just another one of those things was throwaways. Oh, like needed you guys as the elevator wasn't there, whatever. So it's like, okay, just gonna skip through all that stuff and whatever. But again, cool character, power set's neat. I don't think she had as much growth as, let's
yeah,
say,
I
Walker.
no. I feel like that's why I'm covering her now because I feel like when we cover other characters, there's a lot more to talk about. I don't think there was as
Yeah.
much for her. Um, it doesn't mean next movie we won't get that, but I do feel like we don't know much about her as it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
From when
she
we got
felt
her.
more
So
of like a tool that they used in certain situations. We need a character that can do this, so here we
yeah,
go.
she's Ghost. Yeah,
Instead of
so
being a
that's pretty
character
much
on the
about
team.
right. Yeah, that's about right. So um, the next character in that group was it? Is it Walker? I guess we have to cover Walker next.
Yeah.
Who I believe, from my opinion, there's a couple of my favorite. I'll say a couple of favorite characters in the movie, but he's one of my favorite characters from this movie.
Hmm.
And his his growth throughout this movie, really, like Tony, you said on the podcast, was like it kind of makes you feel for him a little bit. You know, like obviously he's killed somebody, and that's why he's not Captain America. But just because he's a bad guy doesn't mean he's a bad guy.
Right.
He made a bad
He
decision.
made one bad
Yeah,
choice, right? Where it's
yeah,
like, obviously it's bad, but in the grand scheme of all the deeds he's done, is it really that bad, right? And like,
yeah.
yeah, he's probably pompous. He's a bit of a
He is a
jerk,
little bit of a
obviously, as the
yeah,
characters like to
yeah.
point out, right? But
No, it makes me like
you can see from the
Unitation more.
beginning to
Yeah,
the end, right? Because like even in the beginning where he's like where they're doing the crawl up the elevator,
yeah.
right? And I don't know if you guys noticed, but they form an asterisk,
Yeah.
going up
That's right. Yeah, I didn't notice
the
that
elevator.
actually, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know if it's intentional. It seemed that to me. I thought that was funny, but when he's like, "I think I can get there," just and they're all like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! If you get out of here, like we're just gonna fall, right?" And it's like he takes the leap, and they have to like save themselves, and he's like, and they're like, "You fucking asshole!" This, that, the other thing. It's like, yeah, you kind of are, dude. And
yeah,
like him egging like Bob on like the whole time, like shit, man. Like, all right, you're kind of a douchebag. But by the end of the movie, you can't like I couldn't help but feel like, oh, all right, man, like.
Well, the thing with him and the character from, if you watch the show, the Captain America or whatever, Falcon Winter Soldier, that's where we see him initially, and then we see him here. It's like I think if you see that character and then this one, there's a much bigger like growth to him, and you can understand where he's coming from. Because this guy, he just wanted to do good. Like he
Yeah.
is a U.S. soldier. He was given a mission, and like he felt like he needed to accomplish his mission and that he was doing what was best for the country, was best for everything, and he necessarily wasn't trying to be Captain America, but he was like, "This is my mission.
yeah,
I'm a good person." And then that fall, like we see in when he goes into the void, the fall and what it did to him, and how he kind of is just like become a shell of himself, even, and to see him kind of come out of that with this team and become a part of something again. It was really nice to see for this character. But yeah, he's a big douche, of
yeah,
course, and that's
yeah.
what actually makes him great,
At the end of the
right?
day, that's the idea. He's not Captain America.
He is
He's
the
yeah, yeah,
anti-Captain
yeah.
America.
Which I liked, and so I thought he did great. And
One of
then
the best lines too. It was like, "I got a shield too." It's like, and
Yeah.
it's still crooked. It's like, what, dude? Come on, it's been like a year and you haven't unbent it. Come on, dude.
yeah, and then we got David Harbour as Red.
Alexi,
Yeah, yeah,
Red
Red
Guardian.
Guardian. Red
I
Guardian.
really liked how they did him in this one because it felt like a Black Widow. He was pretty much only like the comedic relief,
Yeah,
and not to say he's not in this, but like I felt
He's
he did have his own depth and nuance to
he had that
him
moment with
him and his relationship with
Elena.
Yelena.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought was
right.
really good in this one, right?
This was better than last time. Yeah,
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 like that talk that he had with her right before the whole void thing
absolutely.
happened.
Yeah,
Like I really enjoyed that. I was like, oh,
Hmm.
like damn, like that that hits me right here in the heart. I was like, oh shit, okay, I
Yeah,
wasn't expecting that, right?
as
And even she
boisterous
says like,
as
oh, that was really good, right?
yeah,
She's like tearing up. She's like, that was really good.
as boisterous as he is, and how like comic relief and like kind of a jerk he can be sometimes, like he's being sincere there. Like, I'm here now. Like, I screwed this up, and
Yeah.
now I'm here. Let's do this. And like you can just tell he's like, usually that kind of line is like, well, that's too little, too late. But
Yeah,
like
and
you can tell
it's
he's being genuine with that, which is great.
Mhm.
and him being that father figure and like not knowing how to be a father figure
Yeah.
is very like real in a way, and it's
Yeah,
like you want to do your best for your kids, but you don't necessarily know what that is unless you
Mhm.
talk about it. And these people have so much pride and so much like of an ego, like they can't talk about it, and so they just become like these like loners, and they like what Elena says in the beginning, just push it down, you just push it down, and you just like hide it all away, but it's still there and it's still brewing. It's not you're not dealing with it. You're not exercising those demons, so to speak. And so it just becomes so heavy of a load to carry, and you can't do it on your own. And that was what that conversation to me was just like, if you, as a parent, like, how do you know what your kid's going through without them telling you? And how do you ask them? Because you don't want to push them away, but then you don't know. It's just like it was just so. It's, yeah, it was a perfect scenario where it's just like
yeah,
I thought I was doing the best thing. I thought you wanted space. Like, and she's like, I was so alone. I was like, yeah, it's like
yeah,
that hit hard. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, let's loop that in with Yelena, who is the main character of the movie, pretty much. So, what do we think? How obviously we talked about the movie cast. We all thought she
yeah. I
did
mean,
an
Florence
incredible
Pugh is
job. Yeah,
just
yeah,
amazing. I
Love
love
it. Like
her.
every time I see her, like from Black Widow to Hawkeye to this, like I just love her more and more, both the character
Hmm.
and the actress. Like I think she just is perfect for that role. This is aside from the movie, but on the press junket or whatever the tour, I saw this one interviewer was like, I heard you like cheese, so I brought you my favorite cheese." And Florence is like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I brought this cheese with me." Hands her a block of cheese, and Florence is like, "I'm gonna just dig into this right now," and just like literally opens this block of cheese and just starts eating it in the middle of this interview. I was
Bravo. Yeah.
like
yeah,
A plus, man, like A plus.
Hmm.
yeah. No, her character. They've made her character just a major part of the MCU.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she is what I think we really needed to see from like actual Scarlett Johansson Black Widow, where it's
yeah,
like, even though she's obviously a trained assassin, but she's not superhuman like Captain America or Bucky or Diet Captain
Or
America,
even Walker. He had the
or
yeah.
serum,
even
right?
Walker,
That's right,
right?
Walker.
Yep,
Yep.
she doesn't have serum, but like she could still be a field leader, right? She could still be that rallier, the strategist, whatever, right? Because it felt like we never really got that from the Scarlett Johansson Black Widow, which is
I think
unfortunate, right? And
I think unfortunately for her too in that situation there was too many alphas in that group,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Where here it's like everyone's kind of the beta, right? It's
yeah,
like we're all just
yeah,
betas here, and
yeah.
who's gonna step up and be that person to kind of bring us together and become something more? And like she was that, and I do appreciate them touching on the fact that she lost her sister and
Yeah,
what that's done to her and how it's impacted her life. And so, fantastic performance, amazing actor, actress.
yeah,
So can't say
yeah,
enough
yeah. And
good
then
things.
integrating Sebastian Stan's Bucky in this, we'll talk about that amazing intro sequence. Well, not intro sequence. I mean, he's in the movie earlier, but the real intro sequence as the Winter
Congressman
Soldier, the Winter Soldier
Barnes.
intro. Yeah, I loved the escape with that. And then funny is like for me, like I was like, wait, what happened to that SUV that got flipped over? Like I had no idea we were watching that sequence when he shot the thing and it like exploded. I didn't even know that was Winter Soldier at that point. I was just like, what did she do there? Like, did I miss something? And then I see another one. I'm like, oh, okay, this is Bucky doing this part, which was one of the best scenes in that movie. I feel like that was such a great sequence. I love that sequence with the limo and trying to get away. And he's like, it's floored. He's like, we're getting faster.
It's like going up like
Yeah.
You know. It's
um,
bulletproof as well. And
yeah,
it's like,
right. And he's using a shield at least, the shield, and that was great. But yeah, I love that Bucky intro right there to get to the
mm,
Return of the Winter Soldier part for him. He still got it, and that was great for me. Like I thought that was awesome. So, um,
love a good car chase sequence. I
yeah,
mean, it's
yeah.
just easy.
Before we get into
I
the
do
void,
appreciate. I really liked the sequence when he shows up and Elena's like, oh, it's like that whole like your dad's coming pick you up from school and your friends are here and they
Oh yeah,
don't.
when he shows up, they're like, "What
It's
is
like
that?" It's a
She's like
limo,
so
and
embarrassed.
she's like, oh no,
Oh,
no, no. It's like,
yep.
Yeah, he's just honking the horn. Oh my God.
see
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
later. It's a
yeah,
trap.
it's a
It's
trap.
like, yeah.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah. So, what other sequences before we get to the void part do you guys want to go
Well,
over?
I do want to mention Julia Louis-Dreyfus is as Valentina
Yeah,
was like was so good. Like I was so impressed by her because I didn't really care about the character at all. Really, like I haven't seen Captain America still, so I don't know how much how involved she was in that movie or not. And she was very bit parts here and there just popped up. So we really didn't get to see her be her. But I just thought as an antagonist, she was just so good. Like I was every time she was on screen, I was loving it. And her assistant Mel, I thought was great as that like trying to be loyal, but then it's like "Ah, this bitch is
this is
crazy. Like
wrong.
oh
This is
my god,
wrong. Yeah,
like you gotta do something. I love how Barnes, Bucky, like kind of manipulated that situation. It's like, yeah, we can probably get the assistant. And so that whole like that whole relationship between the three of them, I thought was
yeah,
so cool,
yeah.
so good.
No, I thought that was
Yeah,
great. Yeah,
it's funny you mentioned that actually, because one thing I saw on social media was the actress that plays Mel, I guess, is
Hmm.
active on TikTok or whatever, one of those things. But she even posted this thing, like a song, and her like humming along or lip syncing to it or whatever like
Hmm.
that. But the caption said like, when Bucky makes you feel like a certain way, and it's like, are you a fangirl of the fictional character of the guy of like the movie character that you starred with? Like I was just like,
wow.
okay, like I guess that's the era we live in now, right?
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
yeah,
because I mean, she even says like, what, like, oh, when the alien invasion of New York happened, I was like, what?
high school.
I was in high school. It's like, oh my god.
yeah. No, I like their dynamic, and which led up to the even her telling her, "Are you sure this is a great idea to try to recruit this guy as a superhero? He has every quality that we do not, that could cause a problem."
Yeah,
And sure enough, it did. But yeah, so we had that sequence. We don't have to go over all the sequences, like I said, but like anything else you want to get to before I talk about the void, like because I have
well,
no idea what that was. I missed that.
well,
I don't know the character, but go on.
the one cool thing I liked was that this movie was really, in my opinion, I don't think there was any wasted time or
No,
anything like
they
that.
had
Because
certain sets. It was
like,
We even
yeah,
talked
scenes.
about how
Yeah,
they skipped through things just because they didn't want to waste time on it.
yeah,
like
Yeah.
you had the escape from the the heist or whatever, and then you have the brief period where Bucky has them all tied up and he's learning about the situation, and then they go right to New York,
and they're.
um,
I love how they break into
and
the place.
right,
They drive right in, and she's like, "I just put the drywall in."
they're all like
Yeah,
It
just
was
come up already.
unlocked.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, no,
But
I kind of like that, but again,
it
I
does
would have loved to
seem
see some more.
if you're really gonna dissect the story, it does seem like it's very quick, but it flows so well, and like that's why when they had this sequence in the top of the Avengers, the former Avengers Tower, which was great, little nod, who bought the tower, but the Stark Tower, but yeah, there's the transition into Void with him from the big battle, which he just mops the floor with these heroes, and it shows like how
I
powerful he
love
is.
that battle just because even though those characters who we all know are established
Yeah,
as combatants, and we have basically two super soldiers in there as well, or I guess two and a half,
yeah,
depending on how you view Red Guardian. Like he's not even phased, right?
Hmm.
Like at all, and like even some like uh Yelena and Ghost or trained killers like trying to go at him with like lethal like
yeah,
knives and stuff. It's like, nah, it just breaks, whatever. Rips off Bucky's arm, just tosses it over like,
yeah.
nothing.
I think
And I
Bucky
just
lasted
love
the
how like,
longest at like 5 seconds.
yep.
Yeah,
And what I really liked was just how they quickly assessed that situation to the point where it's like, we can't beat this dude.
get
And they
out,
just like scramble to
get
the
out. Yeah,
elevator. Because like it's like, yeah, they know there's nothing that they can do
Yeah.
against
yeah,
And
him.
again,
Like
another thing that they really like jump quick into is like, okay, this guy just knows how to do everything already. Like no practice. He just like had that one sequence, falls down at the mountain, and now he can do anything he wants. And the manipulation by Val to get him to this point was very good. So, but it was
yeah,
just yeah, like very quick, like Skippy here. We're just gonna get in there and have him show off everything that he's capable of doing. Uh, which is
yeah.
it's good. But the fight sequence was cool. Just like, seeing him stop bullets, like
I
yeah,
mean,
not even. move really unless he
He
had
even
to. Like,
he even survived the kill switch. You know what I
yep.
mean? Like they did the built-in kill switch, the override system that she built in there that was supposed to kill him. Obviously, did not. And that was showing how powerful he is. So then we get him transitioned in. Once he does that, and he tells her why should God listen to that, which is very Loki-esque, by the way, very Loki-esque in that sequence.
Mhm.
But
Okay,
in
yeah.
the Stark Tower, former Stark Tower, which was great.
Yep.
Um, she turns him into the void essentially. So we get that whole void, and I had no idea what was coming with this. I just know that I've seen some of the previews where the people are just gone, but I didn't know what that meant. I thought they were like dead, not knowing that they were being sent into the void. So we get that aspect of things, which really brings in the mind fuckery of the movie, where it's like just a horror sequence for people that have been sucked into it,
Yeah, just
and
basically reliving some of your worst moments.
yeah, and we
Uh,
get so he's got this massive Superman power plus like this dark Phantom Zone power. We'll go right there, and it's pretty impressive.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't like. Yeah, it's a power, but I wouldn't view it as like a positive. I'd view it as like, hey, this is the price he pays
this
for
is his
being.
kryptonite in a
Oh, this
way.
is negative. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
right. Where it's like this is the other side of the coin, and he
Right.
even says it at the very end. It's like I can't pull out Sentry without also
You
pulling
know
out
what will
the
happen.
Void.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Um, and while it worked that one time, who knows what's going to happen the other time.
yeah,
But I liked the voice sequence for them showing hero moments, right?
yeah.
Because I think that's something that gets not as much focus these days. Because obviously now superhero movies are a dime a dozen. Um, but seeing the heroes actually saving people, like, actually makes me be like, wow, okay, like they're doing good work. Like
Hmm.
all the effort they did to protect the people, like,
It's not just a boss fight. Yeah, yeah,
right. It's not
yeah,
just a boss fight. You could
yeah.
see Red Guardian taking the brunt of that one slab that was falling. You could see Bucky getting in front and blocking the one truck that was flying with
Hmm.
his arm, right?
Ghost pushing people out of
Ghost
the
pushed that
way.
one
Yeah.
guy out of the way.
Mhm.
Right, exactly. I was like, wow, like look at that. And they even made a big deal to like have the audience or the no audience, the public around them like clapping for him afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think it was in that moment you see like this is what like Alexi was talking about being like a hero and how much he loved like that was his purpose in life, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of like the turning point for Yelena's character there, even if she didn't know it. And like going back to Walker, I think Walker like this is what he was craving for. This is what he wanted,
Hmm.
Yeah.
all that time, and this was his first taste of it, right? So
Yeah. I think he
I
got
really
that
appreciate
finally.
that
He
sequence.
finally got that moment for him, and I think that's while he's still going to be an asshole. He's got the hero aspect of things now, which is great. He'll be cocky at Walker, but that's the point. Yeah. So we had the whole void battle, which was cool, and I like the fact that it came down to not sheer brute force. It was an actual mind battle, which was cool. A little different from Marvel to handle, right? Like it wasn't a
Yeah.
normal "let's beat the crap out of him until he falls." Well, I guess that worked, but that wasn't what exactly happened. It was just a void, um, and yeah, and so like I said, and then it moves us into the new Avengers essentially that come from this.
Well, before
But
that,
but
I
we
mean,
get
I
into
want
it.
to
Yeah, go on.
right. So like the one thing I really enjoyed was how Yelena, like everybody's running from the void, and Yelena just kind of embraces it. And I think they laid the groundwork for her actually being the only one of the group to actually show an interest into who Bob was as a person, not necessarily
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's something
As a
weird going on with this dude.
right.
Like, what
He's a
is
weird
he?
guy with that. Like John was always like messing with him in that sense, and Val saw him as a tool afterwards. So
Right.
yeah.
So I really appreciate Yelena doing that. But even when the other characters like debating on because I think Ghost was the first person that said like she was going to go after her, and like Bucky held her back and was like, "You don't know what's going to happen." And next sequence, Yelena and Bob are getting overwhelmed inside, the prison, the mental prison, or whatever we want to call it, the mental house
yeah,
attic. And then the characters show up, and we got to see the Bob's trauma, right, with his family and his mom, and I guess his dad or stepdad, I forget
Hmm.
which. But obviously, you could see that's where a lot of his issues stem from, right? Even
yeah.
as an adult,
Absolutely, that's what you
which
get.
totally makes sense.
Yeah,
I've
Yeah.
seen that in real life. But it was really cool seeing just Walker just instantly punch that dad in the face, like just like because I feel like we don't really see stuff like that happen that often. Where it's just like, shut the fuck up, man. Just like
Yeah.
punch out the dad, even though he's not real, but it's just like, the character kind of getting that um camaraderie, I guess, because I think
It
Walker did
was
look down at him in the
it
beginning,
was
Hmm.
and
their last bonding moment to get together.
right,
The actual ultimate bonding moment. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
right, exactly. So I really appreciate them showing that sequence with the team showing up to support Yelena, who's supporting Bob. So I think that went a long
Yeah, I
way.
think they did a great job with consistency of the characters throughout the film to get to this point where it wasn't like big jumps where like, oh, this is unbelievable for this character to make this decision here or do that there. I think they kind of all progressed at a consistent pace to get to that point where it was believable, and it made it much more impactful that they would do this instead of being like, why would this person care now? Like, I think
Yeah,
they did a good job there.
and the one thing I really like about the movie was having Bucky in there, because he even says, like, when he has them all like tied up, like, look, I've been there, right? I've been
Hmm.
through this, because like I was tormented.
I was you
I
essentially.
Yeah.
was you.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
like, I was a programmed Hydra assassin, and I had to deal with trauma. He had to go under, the Wakandian, sleep, whatever it was,
Right.
new arm.
Yeah.
He already got used again in Civil War, so it's like, bruh, like, he's been through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Despite him being a pretty chill character now. So
Yep.
Hmm.
So
worked for me.
we get the new Avengers from the asterisk, and that's been the big
Right.
thing for Marvel to unveil to people in the world now, because they're
Yeah,
changing marketing a little bit. It's still called the Thunderbolts, but they're saying that the new Avengers is the asterisk being spelled out.
I really
Um,
liked that sequence. So like Val, like you tried to use Century to keep herself in position
yeah,
of where she wanted to be, and then she saw that was not going to work. So, and then she saw an
maybe.
opportunity with the
Yeah,
Thunderbolts and positioned herself in a way to like introduce them, and that was great. That was a great turnabout there, where she's like at this. And I was like, "What? Like, this has got to be something on the other side that she's like, there's something going on here because there's like this tent or this tent or whatever." And she walks through it, and they chase after because like, oh, we're gonna kill this bitch. She's like, what the? She's like, put us in this situation. So the Thunderbolts all go after her, and they step through this little doorway, and there's a whole press conference ready to go. And Val's up there. It's like, hey guys, we have the new Avengers. They saved the day.
yeah.
And so that's where we get the new Avengers, and now all the promotional material out there in the world is getting updated with
So
that title.
what do you think of that bold strategy from Marvel here to start doing updating as we're going? Like that was my big thing. Like I know that there's more to talk about this movie, but like that aspect of things is pretty bold for them to do.
I think it's
it was.
interesting to keep people's eyeballs on it, right? It's like, oh wait, what's happening? Why is all this like? There's more marketing out now, and there's more people
It's in the
talking about
news.
it.
It's
There's
in the news
more
now. Yeah.
social media hits, trending stuff. Like it's definitely helped boost the
Let's see how the legs are with this
exposure.
because
Yeah,
let's see.
I
Yeah.
am curious. I think it's a bold move for sure. I am curious to see how it affects it. I'm hoping it has better legs than the last couple movies have had. Certainly Captain America, because I think this is a way better movie. Um, but I think it's cool, right? Because like
Mhm.
the thing is, they know that the diehard Marvel fans already went to see it the first weekend. But maybe those people who might have hopped off after Endgame could be like,
Let me
"Whoa,
see. With
new
Avengers.
Avengers!"
Yeah. Let's go check this out. Yeah, that might be a good
It's like, "Oh,
idea.
I know Bucky. Like, yeah, I remember him. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like I'll go see this movie, right?"
We'll see. We'll see how it pans out with legs. So
Thing is, I did like this movie a lot. Like, I would probably rate it maybe not a 9, but like maybe just underneath a
I'm
9,
I'm
like
an
close to it.
8.5. I'm an 8.5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like right
8.5.
there.
Yeah.
To me, where I'm like, that's really cool, and I want to see more. Like, I want to see
Well, I
Thunderbolts
mean,
2 or slash New Avengers 2 or new. I don't know how
Well,
they're
we're
let's.
gonna
gonna
get
spell it.
them in
We got to
the
Yeah,
new
we are.
discuss. We are
Avengers.
going to get them.
So
But we have to
Yeah,
discuss the copyright Marvel. The Avengers copyrighted now, and we have, you know, that whole aspect of things that may be a fight about the Avengers name. Is that
well,
very
before that,
Sam esque? But yeah,
that
what
is
was
it.
before
But
that?
I did like the first post credit sequence
we're still
where like Alexi's in the
Oh, the
supermarket,
Wheaties, the
and
Wheaties.
he's like, the lady's just like in the cereal aisle, and she's like whatever, and he's like, Wheaties, right? It's like she's like just being so weird about it, and
Yep.
she's obviously not paying attention. And it's like he's like, I'm on the, she's like, yeah, I'll get that, and then like she walks on there
Walks
and
away.
just like places it on
Yep.
the box.
But that last sequence, which was like 3 minutes long for post credits, was crazy with
That was
them
good.
in the room. And
Apparently, that was done by the Russo brothers too.
yes, because
I have a
they're
feeling that is just pulled right out of the movie. I think that's going to be in the
I can see
film
that.
because like
Yeah,
they
I
did
can see
that
that.
with the Ant-Man post credit
Yeah,
scene with
and
that's true.
yeah, you're right. Yep.
Because it felt completely different than the movie. You could just immediately tell it was a different vibe from it.
Vibe. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so we get them arguing clearly with Sam about the Avengers name. There's something going on there, and then we also
Sam's
get
getting litigious about the
yeah,
Avengers name.
yeah,
She's like,
Mhm.
really, really, Sam, really? Like,
yeah.
you don't own
Yeah, I
the
felt that was
Avengers.
kind of like, what the heck?
Is
Like,
that
who
really in
cares
character
what
for
the
him though?
name
Yeah,
is, you know? But like, I guess he's trying to build his own Avengers, and his Avengers are going to be really good if
his
he's
Avengers are gonna
got.
be powerful. Yeah, very powerful.
But like,
But we have the Fantastic Four also coming in here at the end of it. So that's all mixed in. There's a lot happening at this
mhm.
post-credit sequence. Like
But
you
yeah,
said, the
so
Russo shadow.
their headquarters, Watchtower, if you
Yep.
want to say it, is the old Stark Tower, and so they come back, and this is taking place 14 months later. Like they've
Later, yeah.
been Avengers by the government says they're the Avengers for the past 14 months, and so now they kind of regroup here, and they are discussing the fact that Sam's saying they're gonna sue them for the name, which again is weird to me, but. You can see their relationships a lot tighter now, and they've obviously got on missions. Alexi's like, got
Yeah.
race track suits or something. That he's got everybody like it's soft as seals by the bottom or whatever.
Yep.
And then Bob's still there. I do think it's cool that Bob still is a participant in this, and they
Yeah,
weren't just like, oh, we're gonna lock him away or whatever. Because he off like as Bob, he just seems kind of like, oh, I'm gonna watch the team, cheer him on, like, yay,
yeah,
go guys, go. But
Yeah.
I'm not really a part of this team. But he is like that, threat as well as ultimate weapon, which is really interesting. And the fact that Elena has a tablet, she's talking to an AI for the tower computer or whatever it is, and there's like, a unidentified, multi-dimensional ship is
just
approaching.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just entered the atmosphere. And as soon as
And
they said that, I was like,
it got a nice
Fantastic Four.
it got a nice pop in the theater, I will say.
Yeah.
So
Apparently, I mean, if you watch the opening credits, they say the Fantastic Four theme is in the
it was
opening.
it was in the credits at the end credits actually. I'm like the Fantastic
Oh,
Four
it's in the
theme. Where
credits.
was
That's in
that?
the
I'm like,
credits.
where was that? And
That's what it
then
was.
so it kind of spoils it a little bit, but yeah. So overall, I really liked the movie a lot. I thought it was great. Good setup for new
I, f-
Avengers.
I feel
Yeah,
like it kind of spoils Fantastic Four, though, right?
yeah, because they're gonna fail. They're gonna fail. I said to Corey when we left, I'm
Well, I
like,
mean,
they lose.
like,
They
how
lose.
else can they get to this universe? Because already knew they weren't in this universe, right?
Yeah,
And so, it kind of like that's the only ending there is for them to come over here. Is
yeah, they're
so,
merging in. So we
but
knew
like
it has to
I
end
don't
this way.
necessarily, so I don't necessarily say they're gonna fail and that their world is destroyed. I don't necessarily think that's
I
the
wonder if it came to
case.
our universe, or their universe, to find more heroes to like fight off
Well, that's what I'm
It could
saying.
be,
It's
could
like
be.
it could be that they need to come here to instead of like, oh, our universe is destroyed, we're the only ones left, we gotta go to a new
Yeah,
one. Instead of that being the thing, it's possible that it's like, oh, we need help. This is the only place we can get it, or maybe they're on a mission by like Galactus or something else, and be like, hey, we need something else
Yeah,
for Galactus or whatever. And we'll get it. We'll get it for you, Galactus. Don't destroy our planet. We're gonna get you
well, yeah.
something.
yeah.
Um,
We'll
that
see.
kind of thing. So who
We'll see this
knows?
summer. So, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I thought it was really good. That's gonna. I think
Thunderbolts.
that's gonna do it. Right. So
Yeah,
really good.
it's good.
8.5. I think for me, 8.5 for Tony. Corey,
I was between 7.5 and 8. I'll go to 8.
you give us the
Uh,
buffer. I really.
yeah.
You didn't like it that little. Okay.
No,
All right.
I like it a lot. I'm
You're a
just
little
saying
harsh,
like
more harsher with your review. So,
yeah. I just
all right.
think it was very quick. So
Yeah, it was
that's the thing is
two
like
hours. 2 hours.
mm,
Yeah.
for me, I think 2.5 is the sweet spot. Like I think three
Yeah.
is usually a little bit too
like
too
maybe
long.
15 more. Like I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like 2.5 could go a little bit long. At least another 15 just to
Yeah.
flesh some stuff out
Yeah.
here and there.
yeah.
All right. That's going to wrap up this bonus round, folks. Thanks for tuning in once again. Twitch, Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. YouTube, if you're watching this, give us that subscribe and the like. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys. We are out.